Camera 3's discovery factor is about 10 times better than the current instruments that we have on Hubble.
One of the beautiful things about our new camera, the Wide Field Camera 3, is it will be capable of looking farther out across the universe and farther back in time and closer to the Big Bang than any other camera we've ever had on Hubble before.